What's in a name? That which we all call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Welcome to our group presentation of the Corona Fruit and Veggies Inc. v. Frozen Foods. Or, as we like to say, the real reason the Montagues and the Capulets were fighting. Our story begins in Santa Barbara area of California, where strawberries are grown year-round. Meet Armando Munoz Juarez. He knows strawberries like the back of his hand, and farming is what he does best. Strawberries are big business in California. They produce over 2.3 billion pounds of strawberries each year, worth over $2.6 billion, and supply over 80% of all the strawberries consumed in the United States. It's big business because it takes $20,000 to $26,000 per acre for labor, supplies, equipment, and land. An acre can produce over 70,000 pounds per acre, and the earnings are anything from $0 to $14,000 after all the costs have been deducted. It's not uncommon to invest over $1 million in a 50-acre farm before the harvest. And this is where Armando was stuck. He needs land and money to grow strawberries, so like many farmers, he turns to the food processors and distributors willing to finance farmers. He was able to lease land from Corona Fruit and Veggies and get an advance for payroll and production expenses for about $230,000. All is good until just before the harvest. Armando is once again strapped for cash and he needs to pay people to harvest his crop. He turns to Frozen Foods for help and receives a cash advance of $20,000. But the combined total of $250,000 is not enough. Armando declares bankruptcy just before the harvest. Corona rushes in, takes its land back, harvests the crop, and keeps the money. Both Corona and Frozen file collection actions which are consolidated into one trial. The trial is to decide if they are valid creditors and who gets paid first. At trial, each company produces the legal documents showing their secured interest. Corona is feeling very good because by law they were the first to file a secured interest or lien against any collateral Armando has remaining. But there is a small one-word discrepancy in Corona's key legal document called the UCC-1. The UCC-1 is an abbreviation for a legal financing statement under the Uniform Commercial Code. It gives notice that a creditor has or may have an interest or lien against the personal property of the debtor. The date of the filing of a UCC-1 also determines the order in which a creditor is remedied. Basically, the first to file has first dibs. The discrepancy in Corona's document was Armando's legal name. Instead of listing it as Armando Munoz Juarez or Armando Juarez, it was listed as Armando Munoz. Question: was this one-word mistake significant enough for Corona to lose their right as a first creditor? The Uniform Commercial Code allows for mistakes in applications and supporting documents if the mistakes do not significantly affect the decisions of other creditors. However, the UCC-1 filings are made available to other creditors through a database of documents searchable by last name. An error in the name is deemed a significant enough error to invalidate the creditor's filing unless a database index search using the correct name could have revealed the incorrect filing. Frozen Foods did a search for Juarez and did not see Corona's prior liens. Correct filing also assumes that the debtor communicated his legal name. Armando did so by providing Corona with his driver's license, green card, several tax returns, communications with the Department of Agriculture, and several other financial information, all with his correct name. Corona even used his correct name for their land lease agreement. Clearly, Corona knew his legal name. Corona countered that Armando was from Mexico and not a U.S. citizen. They used the Latin American standard of listing the second to the last name as the surname. This argument was rejected because the finance deal was done in California for land, loans, and people living in California. Besides, how would other creditors know what to search by if more than one standard was used to file the last name? The trial court's decision: Corona gets second dibs. Frozen Foods is first. Not happy, Corona Fruits and Veggies appealed the ruling to the California Court of Appeals. The appeals court affirmed the original judgment and offered the following comments. What's in a name? We supply an answer only for the Uniform Commercial Code lien priority statutes. Everything when the last name is true, and nothing when the last name is false. Oh, and Corona, you pay the costs of the appeal. Very unhappy now, Corona appealed to the California Supreme Court. Their petition was denied. But is this really the end?